Hey there, I'm Garth. I'm the animation tutor. I create a whole bunch of courses and mentorships that are specifically built for students to build their portfolio to get into their top choice animation schools. I've been helping young artists become animators for over 10 years now, and I've gotten over 100 students into colleges like Sheridan, Seneca, Capilano, RISD, SVA, CalArts, Gobelins, and the Animation Workshop in Denmark. I've taught students from all around the globe get into these incredible animation schools, and honestly, it's never hard to get students excited about animation because it's such an incredible medium. So check out my website to see all the courses and mentorships that I offer, or book a meeting with me and I can kind of go through all the different learning resources that we have with you. Thanks for listening and enjoy the student interview. Hey Amanda.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. You must be feeling pretty amazing right now.
Yeah, I'm still kind of in shock. It was really a surprise.
I remember a few months ago when we were working together, you mentioned that you weren't even sure if you were going to apply this year or I remember you were busy with a lot of coursework at the time, and there was kind of a question of were you even going to bother, and wow, is it ever, I bet you're glad now that you did.
Yeah, definitely.
It's amazing. So what was your reaction? How did you react when you first found out you got in?
Well, I opened the email and I was like, oh God. And I opened up my score sheet and my hand was like shaking as I clicked on it.
Wow.
And well, my first reaction was, nah, they're kidding. Like, they must have like messed it up or something. And then I told my mom, and then I like the realization hit me and I started crying. I was pretty happy.
Was your mom happy?
Yeah, we both started screaming.
That's so great. I love hearing about the moments. I have another student that also thought that it was a mistake and even went so far as to email Sheridan to confirm that it wasn't a mistake.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's so funny. Really great times, and it's crazy, like with how difficult it was to get in this year, with how many of our students got in this year. I'm so impressed with everyone. So a big congrats from Port Prep.
Thanks.
Yeah, wow, you deserve it. This is an amazing score. Like you got perfect on the storyboard in perspective. That's amazing.
I did not expect to get such a good storyboard, Mark.
Oh wow, I loved your storyboard. I could totally see it. Let's go through some of them. So actually, let's start off with the big first question. So why animation? Why did you want to apply animation? What inspired you to do this?
I've always been really, really, really into animation. Like, I don't even watch regular movies at this point. I just watch like animated films and stuff.
Yeah.
I just really love analyzing every part of it, and I've always wanted to be part of that, like the creation of something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be pursuing, but like probably something definitely in like that area, you know?
Yeah.
And I heard about the school through like kind of like a family friend, and you know, it was just kind of like a, well, let's do it kind of moment.
Yeah. I remember that moment for me too. It was in grade 11 actually, and Sheridan was like getting in the papers about all its amazing successful students and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I didn't really want to do a whole bunch of searching into other universities, but it turned out that it made sense that it was getting the headlines, I guess. So yeah, do you watch like the behind the scenes featurettes of animated movies to see like, I find that was really inspiring too, to kind of see how it's made and see what it's like, and I'm like, I can imagine myself there. So you can, have you seen those kinds of featurettes?
Yeah, I remember specifically one that I used to watch a lot was like a Tangled like behind the scenes where they showed how they like animated her hair and like how they got an actor to help with the movements and all the step-by-step process, and I thought that was really cool. And like another totally off-topic one though, but I watched a lot of like the Coraline behind the scenes type
Oh,
videos
cool.
because I
Yeah.
thought that was really interesting too.
Yeah.
Really different type of animation, but I thought they were both really interesting.
Yeah, those are two good comparisons. You got 3D and stop motion. Stop motion is such a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
But really cool. I think actually stop motion has the coolest behind the scenes featurettes because you get to see them actually moving in the set and moving those characters.
Yeah.
So just amazing. So let's have a look at your portfolio. And if there's anything that you want to say about things as we go through it, then yeah, share any tips you have. So,
Okay.
Let's start with the first part of the portfolio, which is the figure drawing. So how long had you been figure drawing prior to?
I did a lot of, in grade 10, so like 2 years ago, I did a Emily Carr Teen Institute camp thing.
Okay.
For like a month.
Oh, that's
and
great.
During that there was a lot of figure drawing, so I did a lot of like we had nude models come in and we would do a bunch of sketches like every day, so yeah. I did a lot of those, but after that I kind of never really did a lot of figure drawings. Like I would practice my anatomy and stuff, but I never actually seriously sat down and looked at models and sketched them out as fast as I could. So as soon as I started working on my portfolio back in like September, I was so stressed because I had completely lost my touch.
Yeah.
And so I would say the figure drawings was probably one of the hardest parts of the portfolio for me.
Yeah. I love this one, even just as like a nice thing to even like put up on a wall. Like this one is very expressive and it has that nice rhythm to it, that torso twist. Just a very kind of, really, really beautiful pose. This one's nice and active. Feels like there's a lot of movement here. Yeah, great work. So you got 9 out of 10 on the figure drawing, I think, right? Or
I was not expecting that high of a mark for this section.
Yeah. All right, let's see your hands. What did you get on your hands again? It was okay, so you lost 2 marks on your hands. Huh, that's so funny. Yeah, really nice hands.
I think I definitely should have had more construction lines.
Yeah.
Because I was going back and watching some videos of other portfolios and stuff, and a lot of them that had really high marks, their construction for the hands were really solid and noticeable.
Yeah.
So they could see like the whole anatomy of it.
Yeah.
I kind of tried to add construction lines, but they were rushed and hard to see. So
did you add them after? That's one thing that I remember doing in my portfolio because I didn't know about them until very late in the process, and I kind of like added the construction lines after, which is kind of not the point. But,
that's what I did. Yep.
That's funny, right? Yeah. Well, that's great. You still did really well. So character design is next. I remember this character from a while back. We were chatting with this guy. Oh, cool! You even drew the arm through this character, so that we kind of see where the arm would be in this back 3/4.
Yeah.
That's actually a really neat idea. And you've done it light enough that it really doesn't interfere with seeing the pose at all. So that's really nice. Yeah, really solid character and really fun. Really like. He's just so soft and like round, and I don't know, it really like he has this nice simple elegance to him that I really like. It looks, you've made the process look very effortless. I'm sure there's a lot of effort happening in your mind to try and figure out all the different angles and stuff, but it really feels like, wow, just so nice and simple. I'd love to hear what your mind is going through this process.
Oh goodness. I would say this was also one of the hardest parts of the portfolio.
Yeah.
Just because I had so many different attempts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you remembered, I had like the big Asian lady, and then
Yeah,
I like slimmed her down into a more petite, like triangular shape, and then
yeah,
I did another version of that, and then I made her even younger, and I didn't
yeah.
like it. And so I changed my direction completely and went for this kind of old man look. And the entire process took me so long. I think it probably took me way longer than even my perspective.
Wow, that's so. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I mean, you've got some complexity, although it is simple. You know, you have these few areas where there's actually quite a bit of detail, or at least there's enough kind of contour changes. Like there's his chest here that you want to kind of imply that from all the views. So even though it's kind of a big random character, there's still a fair bit of complexity to it. So there's a lot to look out for here. Actually, wait, the next one is the animation. Let's have a look at that briefly. Nice. It's quick. Wow, he is having a bad day. Just bouncing right around. Nice. You've got a little background in there too. Okay, a couple marks. Maybe the speed. The speed is my guess of maybe some things that, they might have liked to see that a little bit slower. It's just kind of zooms across. That might have saved you a couple marks there. But the bounce, the squash and stretch does seem to work. I remember looking at this frame by frame, and it did have a really good bouncy feel to it. But yeah, it's just a little quick, but yeah, really nice still. Yeah, okay, let's have a look at I think the storyboard is the next one. So 20 out of 20 on your storyboard. Huge congratulations on that. That is so awesome. Like, storyboard is not easy to get perfect on. I love this. And it's so simple. Again, like your story, it's not like you're not, he's just Possum. It's funny, everyone names him different things and yours is just Possum.
I didn't know that we could name him, so I just went with the safe route.
Yeah. Yeah, like just, and really nice little simple backgrounds. But I want to emphasize to everyone watching this that, look how simple the background is. It's not a loud background. Even though you have a fair bit of detail in the flowers here, it doesn't outplay the things that we're meant to be looking at, the characters in the foreground. So I really love that, Amanda, that you kept things kind of muted, a little more subdued, so that we know exactly where to look. There's no confusion, there's no noisiness, or it's not too busy. It's actually very, very clear, and we have a variety of shot. And I love these two expressions. Actually, your rabbit characters in general are really fantastic, but I like her two expressions here. Yeah, it's a great contrast. And amazing how well you kept to that character too, even in this kind of more dramatic pose. And I remember, I don't think I even helped you that much with this. Like, I helped you get the idea there, but you came with this whole finishing 2 frames here, and I was like, whoa, okay, that's it. That's done. You don't need to do anything else there.
Yeah, I think most of the things that I had to get help with was just the consistency in his snout that I kept messing up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the on-model stuff is hard to just always keep them looking exactly like that model sheet for sure. But yeah, you did a great job there. And again, very simple little story. Don't need to tell, the whole plot of Game of Thrones in 4 panels. You just need like a little small sequence happening here. So that's really great. All right, the layout. Am I right in guessing that you really enjoyed the layout?
It was so fun.
Yeah, I bet. You seem like you really love backgrounds. That's my guess.
It was the most fun part of the portfolio for sure.
Yeah, I love
just because it was like so time consuming, but like not too difficult. So I just kind of like got lost in it a lot and just like watched a lot of movies, I guess.
And you got perfect on them, of course. Yeah, I had no hesitation with thinking that was going to be the case. Nice little simple tone ranges that you're putting into this. Like that's really great, and beautiful line work and the drapery. Like, although you do a great job of kind of keeping the scenes not too noisy, but somehow still packing in lots of detail. Like the drapery here is really, I mean, that's really great. I don't know if you had a reference that you kind of set up or if you just looked at drapery examples online, but this is really great.
Yeah, for the most part, I was just looking at multiple examples.
Yeah.
So I looked up like whatever this is called. Sorry, I forgot. And I would just look at them from like different angles, because obviously there wasn't a picture of one from like this exact angle.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like took them, saw the general way that the lines would flow, and tried to convert it into this angle.
That's great. And you even managed to get a little cat in there. Yeah, just lots of nice details. You have some open space, but then areas where there's these nice detailed little sections. Yeah, really great. I remember we worked together on this one for a while.
Yeah, this one was very time consuming.
Yeah, I bet. Look at all those lines, and again, nice details, and the value really helped. I remember the little mailbox here, and it was kind of blending in a little bit, but now, with that little bit of tone, it really helped kind of bring it out a little bit so that we can see it. And beautiful detail in the back here. Really reminds me of like Rivendell from Lord of the Rings or something. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, definitely perfect layouts. That's so great, Amanda. You must be very proud of these. Any tips for others for getting perfect on their layout or their storyboard or anything?
I think for the layout, my biggest tip would be, well, specifically for this aerial one, it was having a good foreground, midground, and background.
Yeah,
so that you could have a really easy way of seeing like the scale of things.
Yeah.
Because before I just had like, I remember we went over and fixed this because I just had like the tree and then like a background.
Yeah.
And there was no really foreground, or like it was just kind of like flat. So adding the extra layers in the back and stuff and just everything, it made it so much better.
Yeah. And what about the linear one?
For the linear one, I would say, well, actually, like I kind of did it wrong, but somehow got full marks. I did not really, I tried my best to use like a graph so I could like have the perspective perfectly, but I did not do it correctly. So I think if you were to actually like put a perspective grid on it, it would not line up. So if you're gonna do the linear one, don't be like me and use a perspective grid.
Yeah, the one thing that I notice is that, yeah, like if we were to take the one edge here and this one here, the actual vanishing point would be way, way above this composition, which is totally fine, except that we're seeing the bottom of these little light containers up here. We're seeing that piece. So we'd probably rather see the top of like a little circle at the top. And then, but again, it's so not necessary to even mention just because, not perfect, but that was one little thing that I was like, they must have missed that. Amazing job. Let's have a look at your personal work. We can start with this. Okay. Oh yeah, I remember these cool little character set list here, and your sorcerer's character. Nice. Digital kind of sketchbook. Oh yeah, I remember seeing some of these. Nice watercolor. It's nice that you have both watercolor and digital, kind of. And interestingly, wait, this is watercolor, right? This isn't some kind of. Okay. Yeah, it almost like fits with your digital work too, interestingly. Sometimes there's a big disparity between traditional and digital work, but you have kind of a nice unifying quality there. So that's nice. Oh, this guy. I remember you were even considering going with him for a little bit, or maybe her as well for your main character. Yeah, I really like him. The librarian guy. Nice. And again, a mix of kind of traditional and digital work here. Yeah, so that's cool. You kind of, so this is like your sketchbook piece, but it's both traditional and digital. You just kind of
basically
whatever little fragments. Nice. That's great. So if you were to do it all over again, Amanda, what are some things that you would have done differently?
Okay, well, I did start early. I started like in September, but I procrastinated a lot.
Yeah.
And so I was super stressed in like the last month because I was trying to cram everything together. Yeah. And then I would be like, oh, this isn't good, and I still have to do my corrections for this, and I still need to do this personal work. So I just wish that I prioritized things better, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of the number one things that everyone is mentioning is just better time management. Better time management. Don't do so much at the end. Start early. Like one person said, how did they put it? It was like, whichever day you think you should start a month before that.
Yeah, that's a really good tip. I second that one.
Yeah.
And I'd say like, well, I did this, so I don't know if it's something I would redo, but a good tip I would say is to reach out to friends and family and get their opinions on things.
Yeah.
Like for my storyboard, I asked so many people for ideas and got their views on things and tried to put it all together. Like one of my friends was like, "Oh, you should make the pretty lady like a really beautiful peacock or something." And then I even got my mom to like talk to one of her workers at her work, and he put together this whole story, and I took all these ideas and kind of tried to make it my own.
Oh, great.
And for a lot of the parts in this portfolio, I had a lot of input from others, so I think that's a really important part, is to see what others think, because I think that if you're constantly looking at your own art, it's really difficult to spot out things that others don't, or that others do. So I think something that really helped was just getting other people's inputs on things.
Yeah, that makes sense. Awesome work, Amanda. You did a great job, and we were meeting, I remember, weekly at some points, and every time you managed to pull together more work. So you were very consistent, despite it maybe not feeling like that from your own vantage point, but you definitely, you continue to show up with new work every week. So really great job. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And enjoy the next step of the process, aka finding housing and getting ready for your time at Sheridan.
I'm so excited.
And let's hope it's in person. I hope for everyone's sake that it's in person next year.
And I want to say thank you, Garth. I definitely couldn't have gone in with your help.
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad to have helped.
You definitely helped me so much.
So that makes me happy.
Yeah. You should change your motto or something and be like, "I'll help you get in."
Yeah. And lastly, is there any resources that you'd like to kind of pass on for students that are just starting from nothing and kind of starting to build out a plan? Like, for Life Drawing, did you use like Croquis Cafe or anything like that?
So for the life drawings, I used a website called Line of Action.
Oh, Line of Action, yeah. Great.
Yeah, it doesn't have a huge amount of different poses and models, but I found it was a really good, because they have like, you can do like class times, you can do like infinite time, you can like, it was just really useful for me, because I never really got into Croquis Cafe, and since everything was down, Line of Action was good. I mean, if you need a digital program for free, I use Fire Alpaca.
Oh yeah, Fire Alpaca. I remember every time we'd meet, I'd be like, what is that crazy software you use again? And she's like, Fire Alpaca. I'm like, that is just the most fun name for a software.
I used it for everything. I used it for my art. I used it for the animation. It has an animation tool. Yep.
All right,
so
we'll give a nice
worked
big
for me.
We'll give a nice big shout out for Fire Alpaca.
Yeah.
And we'll also link any of your social media down below in the description, so that anyone can follow you and the artwork that you're producing on a regular basis.
Oh, goodness. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah. So thanks so much for meeting with me, Amanda, and chatting through your portfolio again. I bet you're excited, and I hope you have a great time at Sheridan.
Thank you so much, Garth.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
See ya.